All right, guys, welcome to That's Controversial. My name is Swami. I got Richard Ayub, the editor-in-chief of RumorFix.com. What's up, Richard?
Hey, Swami. How are you?
Doing great. Another week. A lot of controversies in the entertainment industry. What we do is we go through 5 topics, 2 minutes, 2 minutes per topic, and then we go to the next topic. By the way, what is RumorFix.com, real quick, for our listener?
RumorFix.com is the anti-tabloid, and our job is to set the record straight on any rumor that's out there. So if you see those supermarket tabloids, or if you accidentally read Perez Hilton, we can tell you what's true, what isn't true, and what we have not been able to verify. So sometimes we call that still a rumor.
Cool. Let's do it. Let's start off with Rumor Fix's first rumor that is fixed, or actually it's not really a rumor anymore, I hear. What's this with Ryan Seacrest being single?
Yes, there is a report. We haven't completely confirmed it, but I am calling it yes, it's true, because E has confirmed it, and Ryan Seacrest works for me. So I've got to assume that they would know what's going on with their own employee. So after 2 years, Ryan and Julianne Hough have called it quits. And they say that it's because his schedule, or both of their schedules, are too busy. And Swami, you know as well as I do that Ryan Seacrest is the busiest man in Hollywood. And on our site, we put up just some of the jobs that we knew about. American Idol host, Today Show segments, E's Red Carpets, America's Top 40 on the radio on weekends, and then he executive produces Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Shaws of Sunset, and there's a new reality show that The Wanted is doing.
That's huge. I mean, here's the deal. I'm not surprised about this. I think actually he's better off without her. I never really thought she was a good match with him. She's just a little too young. He's a little too ambitious. Not too ambitious. He's very ambitious. I just don't like her. I think she is a good person, not with him. I'd like him with someone a little bit older, a little bit wiser. She's only 24. He's almost 40. How about having match him up with someone who's like in their 30s? I think he would do great with that.
Well, you know, it's kind of interesting since he's been dating her. Her whole star power has skyrocketed. She used to be a dancer on Dancing with the Stars, and now she's a movie star. She was in Rock of Ages with Tom Cruise and a lot of other major stars. She just did Safe Haven, and she's launched into a whole movie career. She is extremely young, and this is the very first time that Ryan has ever announced that he's had a girlfriend and has ever talked about her. He talked about her on American Idol. He talked about her on his radio show. He actually came out of the closet with his relationship with her, which was refreshing to see.
I still think he deserves someone better. How about take some rest, keep working? Remember, Ryan Seacrest cares about one thing mainly, that's work. Secondly, is relationships. Let's go on to the next story. Lil Wayne. Richard, are you a Lil Wayne fan?
No.
Okay, I'm not either. I don't think I've listened to one song Lil Wayne. He sings a lot of songs. I just don't know what he sings. I do know he has a lot of tattoos. He has gold teeth, and he loves to party. And he was in the hospital, and luckily he's doing better now.
Yeah, there were some inaccurate reports from TMZ that he was being read his last rites, which I think is really insensitive, especially when his mother is on a plane flying to Los Angeles to be by his side, and that is broadcast all over the place. And a lot of times what people do is they see something on TMZ and they repeat it. We don't like to do that. We like to independently verify things. What we have been able to verify is, yes, he is at Cedars-Sinai, and yes, he did have some kind of seizure, and this may have been his second seizure in just a week. And there are reports, and these are not confirmed, that there may have been some drug use, and that they had to pump his stomach 3 times. But the bottom line is he was not in a coma, and he is recovering. That's the very latest that we can report.
Well, they say he was doing scissor up, and what that is a combination of cough syrup with sugary sodas, sort of like Mountain Dew, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and then on top of that you add Jelly Ranchers or Jolly Ranchers, or add like Skittles, something for more flavor, and it becomes a very addicting drink, and it's actually really it's a combination prescription strength cough syrup too.
It's interesting because this is something that people use. For instance, if you're smoking a blunt of marijuana, sometimes they'll dip that into the syrup. Or if you're a crack cocaine user, you'll do this right in between the crack cocaine. Next one, Swami.
Next one, we got Miley Cyrus. She's single, supposedly. Rumor Fix has the news.
Well, there are these ongoing rumors that she and Liam Hemsworth have broken up. And there are several clues that would lead to that. One is that she hasn't been wearing her engagement ring for a couple of days. And there are pictures of her with no ring. Now, on Twitter, she is kind of saying the reason she's not wearing the ring is because she's getting it fixed. I don't know if that's really accurate. Liam is in Australia with his family. She is here. All of these rumors started after he and January Jones were pictured in the back of a sedan after the Oscars.
And we reported that last week, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. And so a week later, these rumors persist. The best way to make a rumor go away is to be photographed together. And, today yesterday, rumors started again that Stacy Keibler and George Clooney broke up. And I got pictures of them holding hands today in Germany. That rumor's over. So Miley and Liam could do the same if they are still together.
I don't think they're together. First of all, if you're not wearing your engagement ring, there's a good sign that you're not engaged. Just saying, that's why there's an engagement ring. You wear it. Secondly, she's only 20 years old. What does she know about relationships? And thirdly, if your fiance is living in a different country or visiting a different country and there's no, getting together, supposedly, there's rumors. Most rumors are either true or somewhat accurate.
Yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Absolutely. And George Clooney, remember, George Clooney and Stacy Keibler are a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and they're not engaged.
Right, they're not engaged. Well, George Clooney, I don't think is going to get engaged or married. I think he's just going to be George Clooney.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Justin Bieber, who's not George Clooney, but thinks he is, says, I'm so talented, it's scary, unlike Lindsay Lohan. Here's the deal. Lindsay Lohan, I don't think she's as talented anymore as she used to be. When she was a kid, she was really talented. And then all that drug use. And I think the arrogance, the ego got a hold of her. Justin Bieber, if he's not careful, that ego destroys people. And it makes you or breaks you. And sometimes it helps you and sometimes it defeats you. And it could defeat him one day, like it defeats so many talented singers and actors. What's your thought about him being so talented? It's scary.
I think that he is definitely talented.
Of course.
I think he's an amazing singer. He's only been in the limelight for 3 years.
Do you have the fever?
He was 16. I've got Beaver fever. I love him. I saw Never Say Never. I thought it was a wonderful documentary. I think he's a wonderful performer and musician. He seems to take care of his fans really well. On the film, he seemed very adjusted and does have his little time to be a teenager. He's 19. He's still growing up. He's making some really foolish mistakes over the last couple of weeks and probably I'd say last month. Comparing himself to Lindsay Lohan, people are already doing that, but he trashed her. And what he said is compare her tax return from 2012 to mine. Now, that's arrogance, and yes, of course you're richer than she is, but why do you need to do that? People thought that was not classy and went too far.
Yeah, and she could buy you drugs, too, if you wanted. Just saying. But she's gone, man. I think, unfortunately, unless she has a really good new role or she changes her lifestyle, it's over. Her career's over. She's known for gossip magazines, not for acting anymore. And Bieber is known for singing. I love him. I have the Bieber fever. I think everyone does. And he's going to stay for a very, very long time. So, no, Justin Bieber, you are definitely not Lindsay Lohan. Thank you. Last but not least, Michelle Obama. You know her as the First Lady of America. She says she admires Barack Obama for his patience, Richard, and for his even moods, which she says is he's evenly mood. He doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low, and that's what she really respects about him. But on Rumor Fix, you love the bangs, which I love. I love the females with bangs.
Oh, yeah.
Lloyd doesn't, by the way.
She's got beautiful bangs, and she looks gorgeous. And what you also notice is that this woman is 49 years old, and she's got a gun show going on with her arms. Like a lot of women her age have flabby arm syndrome, and Lowell will tell you that. And, they don't wear sleeveless things. She does it with pride, and she is fit as can be.
Lowell only dates women that have that doesn't wear sleeveless arms. He only dates women with full sleeves.
I got to see the forehead, too. That's why I'm not a fan of the bangs. Sorry.
Oh, you're not a fan of the bangs?
No,
Why do you want to see the forehead?
It's a weird little quirk of mine. Now, what can I say? Yeah.
Okay.
Do you like girls with high foreheads then, Lloyd?
No, I'm not saying high or low forehead. I just want to see it.
Just the forehead.
Just to make sure she's not an alien, that's all.
So if I show you like 5 girls with just their foreheads and not their faces, you'd be able to decide which girl you want to date.
I'd be able to pick out half of them. Yeah.
Really? Wow. That's impressive.
What about a little cougar for you?
Yeah, that's controversial. But Michelle Obama, is an iconic figure, and she looks great. She's the modern-day Jackie O.
Yeah, she obviously is. She's got some style, some class, and she is all about family and family first. And I think she's been on the cover of Vogue magazine twice.
Absolutely.
Like, that's amazing. I never saw Hillary Clinton on Vogue.
Not yet, but believe you me, Hillary's going to make a comeback in the next election. She'll be on all the covers she needs to be. But let's go to the last topic. Are we almost done with this topic? Oh, we're done. So let's go to the last topic, Richard. Lloyd, our producer, has a surprise for us.
Thank you. And when are you going to cut it out with the Lloyd? Come on, that was old 3 weeks ago.
It's still old now.
you just love to beat that dead horse.
I like that name, actually.
I don't,
Okay.
actually. I think it's very plain. I don't know about you, Richard. When I think of the name Lloyd, I just think of a middle-aged white man, middle class, with driving a Honda Civic. That's what I think of.
Lloyd Bridges.
Oh, yes. I never thought about that. Okay, Lowell. We got Lowell, our producer, who has the last topic.
As you know, guys, I have a lot of connections in the sporting world, and a very reliable source told me, because we're in the midst of the World Baseball Classic right now, which, by the way, I'll be there tomorrow in San Francisco for the final round. But I've been told by a reliable source that baseball is never, ever coming back to the Olympics. The World Baseball Classic will be the world stage for baseball, so to speak, from here on out to the end of time. And the reasoning behind that is the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, is upset with Major League Baseball because what we basically have going on here is baseball refusing to send the best players and also them refusing to stop the season to make room for the Olympics. And, because of this, the United States not being able to send their best players, there seems to be a drop in interest level. The ratings so far for this year's World Baseball Classic is the lowest of the three so far, 2006 and 2009. So my question to both of you, I'll start with you, Richard. Do international sporting events and the Olympics, are they as important to you as they used to be, or are they important to you at all?
Well, I'm not a big sports fan, but I do like events. And there are several events that I like to watch every year. One is, of course, the Super Bowl. That's an event that all of America comes together, and a lot of parts of the world come together and watch. I also like to watch the Olympics. And what I love about the Olympics is that it is a very patriotic thing for Americans to do and to root for their team. What have never understood is this is supposed to be with amateurs, and yet we have allowed professional baseball players and basketball players, like the best basketball players in America, the Dream Team, to come play on that. It doesn't make sense to me that you have all these other amateurs who cannot get paid for endorsements and stuff, but in some sports you can get the pros in. It doesn't make sense.
Wait, I have a question for you, Lowell. Is the other countries out there? I hear Cuba is very good in baseball, right?
Very good.
There's
yeah.
other countries. Are they allowed to use their professionals?
Yeah, absolutely. And well, Richard said he's precisely right. The Olympics back in the old days, it was just amateurs.
That's before the Dream Team, though.
So it's like you got it. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Right.
If the IOC wants baseball to send their best players, then you're just shoving the amateurs to the side here. So that's always puzzled me. And it's going back to your question, Swami. It's just a matter of, I think baseball in particular, at least the international competitions, they're more popular outside of the U.S. than they are inside of the U.S. It's almost like, well, baseball's not in the Olympics anymore, and I think it's a combination of we haven't even been able to win the World Baseball Classic 3 times now.
Who wins it?
Japan wins every year, 2006, 2009, and this year Japan's in the Final Four, and they're the favorites. So I just wondering if our country in particular, because as I said, the ratings inside the United States for the WBC are the lowest it's ever been. I'm just wondering, for baseball in particular, if people are just starting to tune out because the U.S. isn't competitive in that venture anymore.
I'm wondering, here's the deal also, is I don't believe in the Dream Team being in the Olympics. I don't like the fact that NBA players are in the Olympics. They did just dominate everybody. And I just don't think that's fair competition. They're way ahead of everyone else. I do believe that baseball should be in the Olympics because it's not about just baseball. It's about America. It's about our country. So and it's about our sports, right? It's about showing what sports we have. And baseball's our most popular sport. How can you not have it in the Olympics? And show the baseball players every 4 years.
And I'd have to agree with Richard that America does come together for events like the Super Bowl and the events like the Olympics. Why do you think NBC ponies up so much money every single time the Olympics come around? Because it's a cash cow.
Right.
And there will always be interest in the Olympics. And it's a huge mistake not to include, in my opinion, one of the greatest sports, baseball, in the Olympics.
So, in a weird way, if they did have it in the Olympics, that means how long would the baseball players have to take off? A month, 2 months?
Yeah, the Major League Baseball committee would have to stop the season for a period of about 2 weeks, which I understand they're not willing to do that. Or they could just let the season play on through and have amateurs represent them in the Olympics. But
2
again,
weeks is nothing.
It is in sports, Swami. 2 weeks is a long time.
But for the length of the baseball season to represent America?
Right, I know. I'm with you. I'd like to see them stop it, but again, it's baseball saying, you know what? We're not going to cater to the Olympics. We've never relied on the Olympics before, and we're not going to rely on them now.
And also, Richard, they have yoga, I think, in the Olympics, don't they?
Really?
Do they?
Yoga? I'm not sure about that.
Oh, they don't? I think they did.
Look at it this way. If rugby replaced baseball, I can't imagine what sport yoga would replace.
Gymnastics.
No, that's I tell you,
those
little girls that got the gold and silver medals, our little the country in the U.S. They're getting endorsements now, and they're making bank now. So I don't think
There's 5, yeah.
Right, yeah, I don't think sorry, Swami, gymnastics is not going anywhere.
No, people love gymnastics.
No, they do.
They love gymnastics. So that's controversial. And another week has gone by. Lowell, Swami, Richard Ayub calling from LA. I'll see you guys next week.
All righty, cut. That's good.
How